Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the Originals Season 1, Episode 18, The Big Uneasy. And I feel like this show has not been on for months, it seems. It seems like they took a very long hiatus, and I forgot that this show was actually coming back tonight. You know, I just kind of forgot that last night, because it hasn't been on the longest time, but oh my god, this was a great return for the show. A lot happened in this episode. Especially the ending, I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with the show from here. It's going to be really amazing. And I loved everything about this premiere. I thought it was a perfect return back to the show, you know. It kind of felt like it was a premiere almost because we haven't seen the show in a while. But I thought it was just a great episode. Definitely better than the last episode. The last episode was just kind of standard and boring. And this is not, like, the best episode of the season. However, it is one of the best episodes of the season, definitely. So let's get to the episode. So, the episode, there's a lot going on in it. There mainly was just one plot, though, which I liked. So Klaus paints as Geniveve wakes, and, he tells her morning sun is the best light for painting, and tells her to hold still while he paints her. She tells him she was once too modest to pose nude, and he says modesty is for the weak. She twirls a sheet around her and asks to see the painting. And he says it's a gift to honor their pack, and she asks why the witches should align with him. He says the treaty Elijah organized may not hold. He says the witches need his protection and no one will trifle with them if Klaus aligns with them. So he says he just wants her promise of allegiance in case he needs her powers in the future. She seems very, amenable. So the young witches chant and Monique sits up and screams. The other witches panic. Davina says she sounded possessed. And Monique says she was channeling the ancestors, and they want the reaping finished, which means that Geniveve must die. So basically, Davina and Monique are planning to kill Geniveve in this episode. So workmen are busy at the vampire lair. Klaus shuts it down because he hates the noise. Elijah tells Klaus that he needs to work and that he won't live in squalor. And Geniveve agrees with Elijah. She asks Elijah for the witches to publicly celebrate the Feast of the Blessings. That's what this whole episode's about, is the Feast of the Blessings. Elijah says she wants a witch party after they tried to destroy his family. He's not inclined. She leaves, and Klaus encourages him to allow it as a show of good faith. Elijah just thinks he wants it since he's shagging her, but Elijah tells him he needs to be more attentive to the mother of his child. So Klaus says she's safe with the wolves now, but that he will bring her home before the baby comes because no child of his will be born in the swamp. So, as you can see, Haley's very close to having that baby at this point. She's very close to it, and they're trying to just find a really good place for this baby to be born. They want to give her, you know, they don't want her to die in childbirth or anything, obviously, so they just want her to have a really great, the baby to be safe. So Haley wonders why all the packs have assembled, and Oliver tells her that they think she's some sort of werewolf messiah, and that her child will be something special. She says that that's pressure she doesn't need. So Klaus calls Oliver after his proposal, and he says, with the influx of new wolves, it may be tricky to find just one wolf. Klaus says he's one of his clan with long blonde hair. Klaus tells him to find him and bring him to him. So Klaus also tells him to accept the invitation from Elijah and to come to the witch feast so that his brother will think the peace is holding. And Klaus comes to see Cammy and says he may have a witch ready to help Kerien. She sasses him, but then realizes he's her only hope and pleads with him to help her uncle. As we know, she wants him to help Kerien because Kerien is dying and he needs to help him. I actually forgot about that whole thing, but, yeah. So then Thierry reports back to Marcel that Klaus is crushing on Cammy, and Marcel is worried that he'll find out he hooked up with her, because as we know, Marcel and Cammy slept together in the last episode. So, Marcel is very worried at this point with what happened with Cammy. So Marcel says he knows Klaus is plotting with the witches behind Elijah's back, and Marcel wants proof to take to Elijah, and Thierry says it will not work. But Marcel says he knows Klaus, but Marcel, just says that family is all ready to pop like a powdered keg, and Thierry tells him they have nothing, and Marcel reminds him that they came from nothing before and can rise again. Monique tells Geniveve what the ancestors said, and she tells them it will be an honor to sacrifice herself, but she says it's not her time to go yet. Geniveve tells her she was one of the ancestors not so long ago and threatens the girl. She says she doesn't enjoy answering to Elijah any more than she did them answering to Marcel. She says she won't leave until she has power from them. She tells them she is going to steal the Michelson Grimmery, among other things that she needs to take care of before she dies. So Elijah tells Diego and the other vampires they need to go to the witch feast, and Diego is not happy about this, but Elijah gives him a direct order and he agrees. He next goes to the human leader, Francesca, who also agrees to attend. She tells Elijah he makes strong aiming seem noble. She says the tourists would love it, especially if they found out the witches were real. She says she will be happy to attend, but he will owe her, the humans, a favor. Elijah next goes to talk to the wolves, but Haley says no. Jackson says it will send a representative with a gift, but Haley walks away in disgust. Elijah dashes over to Haley, tells her the men gave in too easily. He tells her not to trust them as he goes, and she looks very concerned. So Oliver drags in the blonde wolf Carrie to Klaus, who tells him not to manhandle him. Klaus tells him that Carrie is his guest, and reminds him that he is trying to help them gain their power. Klaus introduces himself to Carrie and asks him about the moonlight ring. He asks what stone it had, and Carrie says he never saw it as a stone, and asks Carrie to ask around and find out for him. So Diego meets with Thierry, who tells him Elijah has him bowing to witches and soon will be werewolves. Marcel asks him to fight with him, and Diego tells him he lost, and if he wants to start a war, then he's fighting against Diego. He leaves, and Marcel tells Thierry that they need to get more persuasive. So Haley comes out and finds Jackson and Oliver talking, but they stop. She demands to know what they're talking about. As we know, Klaus has that werewolf cure, and they basically are telling Haley all about it, and she wants, they're about to tell her all about it. So Klaus goes to see Geniveve about Kerien. She says there's no way to undo the hex, but says that his mother might have a cure in her Grimmery. So Klaus says that's devious. Geniveve says it could solidify her place with the coven, but he says he's not giving her a book of dirty tricks to empower herself. She implies she'll tell Cammy that he refused to help, and she slams her down to the table and threatens her. She zaps him with some magic, tells him she won't be threatened by him, and she tells him not to call her again, saunters out. So maybe the whole relationship between Klaus and Geniveve was all a lie. It doesn't seem like there's a relationship between them anymore. I don't think there ever was. I think it was just a thing of the episode. In the quarter, the witches march through the streets as the ignorant humans cheer. Elijah watches from the sidelines. Francesca's there as well. Geniveve tells her one of her minions that it's time and sends him to the vampire compound since the vampires are here. Then the Harvest Girls are carried in chairs, and they and Geniveve take the stage. She tells the crowd that the witches of New Orleans are there to bless them all. The girls do some real magic with fire, wind, and electricity. And by the way, the witches there, Monique, Davina, and Geniveve. Those people are there. And in the quarter, the witches march through the streets, and Genevieve's sidekick comes from the Grimmery, but Klaus is there. He says he's been expecting him, and he's late. Elijah greets Davina warmly, but she gives him the cold shoulder. Genevieve tells her to show Elijah some respect. We can see that Davina is kind of falling in with the wrong crowd. She's working with Geniveve and Monique, people she really should not be working with, but I think Davina thinks that these people will help her, and the thing is, eventually I think they're going to end up trying to kill Davina, so Davina is going to quickly realize that these people are not good. She has been with Marcel from the beginning. She now wants something to do with him, and I definitely think Davina's falling in with the wrong crowd. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I kind of saw that in this episode. So Monique stares at Davina, tells Geneveve that she's not happy with her. Genevieve says Davina just needs a lesson in loyalty and that she's good at putting people in her place. Because the thing is, Davina's not like them. Davina's not evil. Davina's just a kind soul, as I said before. Davina's not a bad person. She's a kind-hearted soul. Definitely not the right person to work with them. So Cammy's there and asks Genevieve if she gets any gift, and she holds out something and says it's an offering to what Elijah and Klaus built. Cammy says Klaus told her she was cheated out of her life, and she knows she understands. She says please, and then Genevieve opens the box and sees a beautiful jeweled comb. She's moved and says she had one just like it, and perhaps she can help her. The other girls give Davina a hard time, but then Josh is there, and Josh kind of saves Davina. He says he wouldn't miss out on her big day. He asks why she looks upset and then starts to take her away. Klaus approaches and tells Josh they have unfinished business. Josh looks like he's about to wet himself. Davina tells Klaus to leave, and he says she's in no position to give orders. He grabs Josh by the neck and drags him into the room. Klaus tells him that they are there to honor witches, but one special one has been offered. He offers Davina a small box. Davina rejects it. He tells the crowd there's been a lot of conflict, and he could execute Josh, but as a favor to Davina, he will pardon Josh. He does so, tells the boy he has nothing to fear from him. He then offers Davina the gift again, says please. She accepts it. Geniveve pulls a face and leaves. Josh tells her to open it. She sees a ring and a scroll with the spell to make daylight rings, and Josh smiles because he doesn't have one. Klaus pulls Haley aside, says his arrangement with the wolves was supposed to be a secret, and that she was bold to find out and to come as a representative. She asks if he's really going behind Elijah's back, and then threatens him if he's trying to betray the wolves. He tells her she has truly become a queen. So Haley's very concerned for Elijah at this point because, as we know, Haley does like Elijah. You know, even though they don't have a relationship or anything, she does care for Elijah. So drummers come down the stairs. Elijah comes to stand beside Haley. They bring a message from Marcel. Klaus is not happy at this point. The drummers all cut their wrists, and the vampire eyes go bloody. Just here's where we get a very violent, the big fight scene comes. Elijah tells them all to control themselves, says it's a vulgar trick. The lights go out, the vampires go blood wild and attack. Elijah panics because Haley's trampled. The lights come on, and she calls for him. Klaus isn't happy. She turns to his brother. There's a pile of dead humans, and scrawled on the wall in blood is, "There will be no peace." So again, this is all for Haley's safety. They're all concerned about Haley's safety at this point. Thierry tells Marcel that the chaos was a success and that he made sure the Harvest Girls got out safely. Elijah's there, tells Marcel he warned him. Marcel tells him to kill him, but that he won't tell him about Klaus's secret meetings with the werewolves. He tells him Klaus won't forgive him if he kills Marcel, and Elijah tells him he doesn't know. So instead of killing Marcel, just because, Marcel is still useful to them, he does the next best thing. He kills Thierry. He rips out Thierry's heart, holds it to Marcel's face, and Marcel, as we know, Marcel and Thierry were pretty tight. Marcel's pretty upset about this. So he tells Marcel that he lives or dies at his will and leaves. Marcel falls to his knees by Thierry's body and cries in anguish because, as I said, Marcel and Thierry were pretty tight. Klaus finds Geniveve and tells her she left the party without his offering. She tells him that the vampires ruined her party, and he tells her that they are not his. Basically, she says he has this gift for her, opens it, and it's Minion's hands in the box, and he says, "Do you really think I would let you leave my mother's grimoire unprotected?" And, he's really upset about this, but she's actually really upset with him. She said a century ago, she dreamed of being him, but then she tells him now he should be afraid of her. He tells her that he'll miss the sex, and she tells him Cammy made an offering to her, and that she gave her hope, but now there's none. He says if Kerien dies, she will too, and she tells him he shouldn't pick an ally over a human, especially one that's sleeping with his enemy Marcel, and she leaves. And Haley tells, and basically she just told him that Cammy slept with Marcel. So Klaus did not know about this. He doesn't know what to think at this point. And Haley tells Jackson that she now sees that Elijah's peace won't hold. She says they need to take Klaus's help while he's willing to give it. She tells him that they can't trust Klaus and he has to tell her everything from now on, and he agrees. And then we get a very intense scene between Klaus and Elijah. Klaus sees Elijah's bloody hand, says he sees that Elijah has avenged Haley's injury with the wolf. Elijah tells him that he knows he's been conspiring with the wolves. Klaus reminds him that the wolves are also his family as much as Elijah is. Elijah reminds him that he has 1,000 years of loyalty. And Klaus tells him that protecting the wolves protects Haley. And Klaus also tells him he saw how Elijah called out to her in the dark and that she reached for him. Klaus and Elijah push each other over this, and Elijah tells him that he has fought not to desire her so that he can fight for Klaus's redemption. He will take it, and nothing will stand in his way. He walks out on Klaus, who looks very upset. So Klaus drinks at Cammy's bar. She comes in. He says he came to apologize for making a terrible mistake, and he tells her that Geniveve was moved by her plea, but then he insulted her. She's refusing to help. He says Kerien will die because of Klaus, and it will be a horrible death. And she asks why he's telling her this, and she says that secrets are poison that must be spat out, like about Marcel. And she tells him that he compelled her to be attracted to Marcel, and that he's mad, and that he's just mad because he didn't control it. He tells her to tell Marcel that if he sees him again, he will kill him. So at this point, everyone wants to kill Marcel. Elijah wants to kill Marcel. Klaus wants to kill Marcel. I think even Haley, wants Marcel dead, because Marcel everyone's against him at this point. Even Cammy wants Marcel dead. So Elijah goes to the bayou, watches Haley with the wolves, and Eve sees him there, and basically Eve is telling him to leave Haley alone. Basically, just leave her alone because she's happy now, and basically he wants her to leave her happy, and it's really sad because she says she will warn him if something goes wrong, but she says she has a natural gift for leadership and to surprise everyone. And Elijah says not everyone. And it's kind of sad, because Eve asks Elijah if he wants to join them, and he says what he wants is for Haley to be happy, and says not to tell her that he was there. So, basically, he's realizing that he must leave Haley alone, because it's not going to work like he thought it would. It's kind of sad there. Marcel lays Thierry to rest with warm memories, and he promises they won't let him die in vain, and will take back their city even if he has to burn it down first. Diego and his crew show up and ask if he means to take on the originals for real this time with no backing down, and Marcel wants, and says yes, because Elijah killed Thierry. He wants to kill Elijah and Klaus, and he throws a match on Thierry, who goes up in flames, and they watch their friend burn. And just to make things worse, Monique tells Geniveve that she failed them, and her sacrifice must be made now. She holds the knife and uses her magic to push her to the ground, tries to kill Geniveve, and she says the only way they can kill Geniveve is if they kill Klaus's child. So, in doing that, they're also going to kill Haley. So, now we have Klaus and Elijah wanting to kill Marcel, we have Marcel wanting to kill Klaus and Elijah, and we have Monique and Geniveve wanting to kill Haley and Klaus's child. So, a lot of plotting going on right now. Really loved how the way this episode ends. I also like it. I think it's sad that Elijah basically has to leave Haley alone, but I do like that everyone is worried about Haley's safety, except for Marcel. Marcel doesn't give a shit about Haley at this point, because they just killed Thierry. So it's kind of bad there. Also, what do you think is going to happen there? Do you think that, I kind of feel like there's a major death coming soon. You know, we're getting to the end of the season. We only have, I think, let's see, this is episode 18, 19, 20. We have 4 episodes left of this season, so there's going to be a major death, definitely. A major character is going to die. I feel it's going to be Marcel. I feel that Klaus and Elijah are going to succeed, because obviously we know Klaus and Elijah aren't going to die. So I'm thinking Marcel's going to die. And, so will Klaus and Elijah kill Marcel? Will Marcel succeed in killing Klaus and Elijah? As we know, you kill Klaus, you kill everyone in the Vampire Diaries. So, I don't think that's going to work for Marcel. Also, will Haley's child, will they be able to kill Haley's unborn child? I don't know how they're going to do that, but I guess we'll just have to see. What's going to happen to Elijah and Haley? I think it's sad that he has to basically leave Haley alone. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Again, it was a really great episode. Definitely, probably the best episode of the season, because now everyone is against everyone, basically, and I think that's amazing. So I cannot wait to see where it goes, and I love this episode. Also, do you think Davina's falling into the wrong crowd? I think she is, too, and I think she's probably going to end up dead again. But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Fargo, which I'm really excited to review. So see you then. Bye.